Okay, quick before we get into the papers, quick thing about the weather. The chaos of yesterday, Thursday, was caused by the government. I can see some of you sat there thinking, how could the government cause the chaos? Well, Wednesday night I was out with a friend and there were no gritters, and as it turns out there was no gritting done anywhere in the country. Had to have come from the top, the government. So all councils decided, oh, we'll do as the government says and we won't grit anywhere, therefore causing chaos. It's all planned to show you how they think they control everything. When are we going to stand up and say enough of this bullshit? It's just been announced that by the ever-reliable British Buggering Corporation that MPs are about to get a £1,300 rise, while the rest of us get cutbacks. They award themselves further rises. If you haven't had enough yet, it's just going to get worse. If you don't stand up and do something about it, it's just going to get worse. If you don't stop watching EastEnders, Coronation Street and all the other programme drivel that they pump out, it's just going to get worse. More are going to die. But if you don't give a shit, carry on watching the bullshit. The programming. It's not called programmes for a reason. So, time to stand up. All you lot sitting on the fence that know what's going off but are just thinking, someone else will do it, someone else will sort it, I'll just sit here cushy. No. All you lot sitting on the fence need to stand up and get on one side or the other. You can either go on the criminal, cannibalistic, satanist, Luciferian side, or you can get on the side of good and bring an end to this evil cabal that is running the planet. Or you can just sit there and watch many, many more die. The choice is yours, and you'll be to blame for just sitting there doing nothing. The weather from Thursday, Wednesday was caused by them. The lack of gritting was caused by them. Do something or we all die. Having said that, let's get back to the fun papers. The Daily Fail. Memo to Tom Watson. Your saintly pal Max denies he was a racist thug. So what do you say to him championing apartheid and exploiting the white supremacist regime to launch a 6 billion F1 empire? I say lock him up. Let's get into the fear papers now. Fear, 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 because we are controlled by fear. As two storms collide to create our worst winter for 27 years, Britain's running out of gas. Oh, let's ramp up that fear, shall we? Yes, we will. The Guardian. Oscars 2018. How we reward ourselves for conning everyone else. Lost in showbiz, toffing Tories' new vote of youth. Hadley Freeman, it's time for an awkward shake-up. Yeah, it is time for an awkward shake-up. We need to get rid of Parliament. We need to get rid of the Royals. We need to get rid of all councils. And the CEOs and leaders, executive branches of every council, needs to be in prison. Especially Nottingham's criminal cartel, who have billions in offshore bank accounts, but they're keeping that there for a rainy day. Well, it's raining. Oh no, it's not. It's snowing, which is rain in another format. So if they don't start lashing out the money for everyone, then they need locking up every single one of them. And regardless of whether they start lashing the money out or not, the executive branch of every council should be in prison. May urges Britain to come back together. In other words, May urges Britain to keep divided so we can continue to rule you like the slaves you are. Fears of new arms race after Putin's missile claim. It's the Russians! Where did the snow come from? Oh yeah, Russia! It's the Russians! These are becoming so comical nowadays, it's almost funny when they're trying to instill fear into us. The Times. Plot to kill the Queen and how it was covered up. Say nothing on that. The best house stars to bullshit again. Floods to follow freeze as storm batters Britain. Large waves prompt warning in southwest. Blizzards and freezing rain cause travel chaos. Aided and abetted by the criminal councils who didn't do any of their job that they've been put in there for doing. So, sacking initially everyone on the executive branch, bringing criminal charges against everyone on the executive branch, locking everyone on the executive branch up, along with the criminal chief constables and anyone of that ilk in the police force. The judges, well, I'm afraid that they won't be able to be locked up because their criminality has aided and abetted everything. They need a far more severe punishment. Teach girls how to get pregnant, say doctors. Because they can't manage it by themselves. You've got to see this as comical, because that's what it is. They are so desperate now, their fear tactics are comical. Down the bottom there, May backtracks. Theresa May has dropped a pledge to make a binding commitment to mirror EU rules from... I'm not even reading any more of that bollocks. Toilet fees scrapped. The up to 50p charge to use toilets in rail terminals is to be scrapped next year. Oh, but it's still in place for the rest of this year. Okay. The charges yielded 20.3 million for Network Rail between 2013-14 and 2016-17. They're now taxing us to piss. Have you had enough yet? Well, you should have. Warning over phones. Mobile phones should be turned off before bed, the Chief Medical Officer has advised, as she warned that the pollution caused by modern life was a health risk. Really? Tell us something those that are aware didn't know. Fake news. Putin's nuclear boast. President Putin boasted of an arsenal of menacing super weapons invulnerable to the West. Oh no, we better get in some sort of a nuclear fallout shelter then. Oh, God. The scare tactics are just becoming so ridiculous. And we should be laughing at them whilst locking up those in Parliament, the royals, those in councils, those in the police that are aiding and abetting this criminal activity, definitely those in the courts who are facilitating the criminal activity. And yes, I'm talking about the so dishonourable judges like Godsmark and Coe, and in the royal courts, Phillips. Although there are many, many more. These are just ones that spring to mind that I know of. New train factory. Siemens is to open Britain's third train manufacturing plant. McTominay talks. Gareth Southgate is to meet... Oh, football. Distraction, distraction, distraction. The utterly despicable scum. Phone light health risk. Light from your phone is... Oh, I'm not even going to read it. I'm not going to read it. And now let's get to the rear. Fear tactics. Red alert on Storm Emma. Icy Britain runs low on gas. 20-inch falls. Army calls in. Girl 7, one of 10 snow deaths. Coldest day ever in Oh, piss off. And what are they calling it? Emageddon! You couldn't make this shite up. I'm not saying we've not got snow. Yeah, clearly we've got a little bit of snow. But I come from an era where we had snow 10 times worse than this shit, and we still went to school. And the teachers were there. Bren set for jungle. Accident star celebrity. Shot fired at Queen. Oh, damn, bad news, it missed. Pervaser's new club. Oh, it's the rapist footballer, I guess, is being released. Killer cold here till Easter and we're running out of gas. Oh no! Fear, fear, fear! Don't bow down to the fear. They rule us by fear. Lock up the criminals that are causing the fear, including these that run the papers, and we'll have a damn sight better life. And a virtually naked woman on the left there. What do you expect? I guess this scum didn't have any in, so the stars got it in. Dickhead paper. Big freeze is coldest for 27 years. Oh, how did we manage 27 years ago? Oh yeah, we carried on and got on with it. Of course, it was made worse by the criminal councils not gritting the roads. Like they've got virtually nothing to do. Gritting the roads is one of them nothings to do. And what do they do? Nothing! Armed forces called in after worst weather for a generation. 10 dead as Siberian front collides with Atlantic storm Emma. Airports and road closed for days to come. Communities cut off. Met Office says 11C feels like temperatures is lowest since 91. Nurses sleep on ward and 4x4 convoy delivery doctors to work. Let's keep them in fear. We'll keep control. Guess what? Many have lost the fear and don't give a shit what you lot do. All we are doing is putting out what you're doing. You bunch of criminals that are going to jail. Evil. Oh, let's just... Guy Garvey, Susan Sarandon, Bill Bailey. What that's about? Parasitical criminal scum. Prince to visit Palestinians in diplomatic first. The Israelis have promised not to bomb anywhere while he's there, if he even goes anywhere near the place. Truth to power. British public interest journalism faces an existential crisis. BBC Civilizations, our verdict. Well, as for the evil propaganda mouthpiece of the criminal cartel government, BBC to be closed, all chief executives to be locked up, all those criminal reporters be acting as the mouthpiece for the criminal government to be locked up. It's just great, isn't it? Tempe Daily Express. Theresa May, my 5-point ultimatum to Brussels over Brexit deal. I'm still pouring out the bullshit because there is no Brexit. Putin's sinister nuclear threat to world. It's the Russians! We'll blame them for everything! Big freeze, red alert. Red alert, red alert! Fear, fear, fear! Now gas is running out. National Grid issues warning over supplies. 7-year-old girl latest victim as death toll rises. You know, it really is getting comical what they're trying to spew out on us. The Daily Telegraph. Winter in control. Army forces ferry NHS staff to work. Freeze raises fears of gas shortage. Coldest spring day on record. Oh, piss off. Like I say, the coldest I recall being told about was 1963. Way colder than this. And guess what? We survived. We had no central heating back then either. But we survived. Trump steel tariff threatens trade war. Oh God. My mother killed my father, but I understood why. Kenny pedals to medal 6 months after birth. Daily Mirror. Are we ready for some more fun papers? Frozen UK is running out of gas. Okay. Orphan saved by the Mirror. Brave Ali's miracle baby. Iraq blast victims' joy 15 years after near death. Who could, by the way, just, you know, who dropped the bomb on him that blew his arms off? Oh, that'd be the West. The criminal cabal. America, UK, France, Germany, Italy, all those Western countries that bombed Iraq didn't go after the military, they carpet bombed the civilians, which in itself is a crime against humanity. Is Blair in prison yet? No. Is Bush in prison yet? No. So the criminals are still free. And they go to work in Parliament and are controlled by the royals, who in turn are controlled by the Rothschilds, who are the bankers for... Yeah, you know. Financial Times. Roll back or roll on? Hal Scott and Lisa Donner go head to head on bank regulations. Banks should be shut down. Money is their method of control. And if you look at the picture, it's a picture of the bull, which is the Rockefeller's symbol. Black Power, the superhero movie that recast Hollywood. Well, wakey, wakey! Are you becoming aware yet that that is a racist comment? Oh no, it's not, because it's black. Because they want to divide and conquer, black against white again. Sorrel feels the strain as WPP is walloped by ad spending cuts. Warning sees shares fall 8%. Big consumer brand stretch tech challenge bites. Bye.